Hello tipsters and tricksters, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Vintage Tips and Tricks video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Bea. I'm a vintage glamour enthusiast and musician. I make vintage beauty and style videos with a little bit of sustainability, veganism and lifestyle thrown in for good measure. If that sounds like your jam, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when my videos come out. For those of you who don't know, I'm currently staying with the lovely Jade of Scarlet Rage Vintage, so I currently have access to her amazing true vintage studio. So what I thought I would do today, which was actually Jay's suggestion, is show you how to measure when purchasing for true vintage. Everything from bust, waist and hips, right through to how to measure for the various lengths of garments, how to measure your arms, your shoulders, and also things like hats, gloves and shoes.
What have you got if you haven't got love?
The absolute essentials that you're going to need when buying any vintage piece is your bust, waist and hip measurements. Use a tape measure that has both centimeters and inches on it, and get each of your bust measurements. This means above your bust, across your bust at the pointiest part and underneath your bust. Usually you'll only need the second measurement straight across your bust, but if you're looking for lingerie, you'll need all three. When measuring your waist for vintage, keep in mind whether you'll be wearing a waist cincher or corset. So make sure you have your natural waist and your corseted waist measurements. Most vintage garments have very little give, so it's important to get this measurement right. Make sure you're measuring across the widest point of your hips and your bottom. There's some other handy measurements to keep on file, such as the width of your arm at its widest point. I like to loop the tape and then slip it over my arm, as this can be a tricky one to do by yourself. Make sure you get the widest point and keep your arm flat. For sleeve length, I measure from the end of my collarbone. Use a mirror to ascertain where the garment is going to end along your arm. The women of today tend to be more broader shouldered than a lot of vintage garments allow, so it's really good to have your front and back shoulder measurements. When measuring across your back, make sure it goes up and over your shoulders. For garment length, aim for where the neck ends and the shoulder starts, and if you don't have someone to help you, use a mirror to look where the garment will end. If you know there's specific parts of your body, for me that's my calves, that are bigger than the average person, make sure you measure them at their widest point. That way you won't find a garment just won't slip over those tricky bits. Why does no one ever talk about this? How to measure for shoes, hats and gloves. For feet, make sure you're measuring from your longest toe to the edge of your heel. Another way to do this is to trace your foot onto a piece of paper and measure it at its longest points. For vintage shoes, it's also handy to know the width of the ball of your foot and the width of your arch, as they tend to be narrow compared to modern shoes. For hats, measure around your head, in the middle of your forehead, above your ears, and just where it starts to slope under at the back of your head. Your glove measurement can be found by wrapping the tape around the palm of your hand at its widest point and then making a fist, just to give you some extra wiggle room. To make sure they fit lengthwise, go from your longest finger, including your nails if you've got claws ladies, and down to the crease just underneath your palm. Just to make sure that I wasn't absolutely full of it, I selected some garments from the Scarlet Rage Vintage studio and went via the measurements that were specified on the website. I found that I could wear a garment that had a 24 to a 26 inch waist, which is my corseted waist to my natural waist. But as always, I had no wiggle room in my hips, always a 38.
That is the video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe and comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the video and any suggestions for future videos. Come and check out my Patreon. We have plenty of extra content per month over there, as well as other perks. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.